Hey there, everybody! Woo! I'm back with my Friday doubleheader. Alright, let's start off with Impact. This is my Impact recap video. You know my name and everything. So overall, I thought that this show was actually pretty solid. We had a good brawl at the end of the show. We had a couple of good matches, good Bound for Glory series matches, singles match and a three-way, and there was we had a knockouts match. We had the revealing. You had aces and eights. We found out the revealing of they have AJ Styles and Claire and everything. And my God, when I get to that, oh man, wait till you hear where that goes. If you didn't see the show last night, so. And that and a lot more. So let's start with it. The show actually went on the air right away with the Aces and Eights guys riding on their Harleys into the Impact Zone. Then they recapped all the happenings that's been going on with Aces and Eights attacking everybody and all that whatever. Then the actual show in the arena begins with Sting, Kurt Angle, Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Ken Anderson, the Robbies, ENT, Gunner, and the Dudley Boys coming to the ring. Sting gets the mic. He says he told security to leave the gate wide open for Aces and Eights to come in. I mean, not that hasn't stopped Aces and Eights before from just breaking in anyway. Sting says that they're ready to fight, and there's a list of victims, and they'll remember them. And they show still shots of Aces and Eights attacking Hulk Hogan. I think maybe intimidating Brooke too. Them going after James Storm last week. And Pope at Hardcore Justice. So Sting says that the TNA crew, these men in the TNA roster, they're right here, and they're set to fight. They're all ready, and so were the victims of the Aces and Eights attacks. So then Sting says that there's one victim who now has the cloud of doubt removed from him, and that of course being the Cowboy James Storm. So then James Storm comes out. And Storm says if he was on the other side of the fence, he would have believed the accusations too, since the evidence looks so overwhelmingly stacked against him or whatever. Okay, James Storm says about, he was like, I'm not returning this wrestling show until an Irish whooping show tonight. And then Sting says, it's like, it's amazing what will happen when the company's being threatened or whatever. It's like guys who hate each other will team up or whatever. It's like. So then Sting says that when Aces and Eights decided to intimidate Brooke, that pissed off the Hulkster, and he says that Hulk Hogan is in the building, and he asks Aces and Eights where they are. So then two of them come out through the crowd. Sting tells security to let them come in. So they get in the ring, and the TNA guys just pound the shit out of them. And then they unmask one of the guys. I heard that it was a CJ Eldora from the indie scene, and the guy says Sting says this can't be it. I know there's got to be more to it. There's got to be more. And then they unmask the guy. The guy's bleeding from the mouth, and Sting puts the mic to the guy's mouth, and he goes, "Thank you. I've been patched in," whatever the hell that meant. And he said that the TNA guys are in for a long and painful night. And then Sting just punched him in the gut, and Kurt Angle kicked him out of the ring. I thought it was a good way to start the show. Pretty much Aces and Eights actually until the end, pretty much got the shit beat out of them tonight. So then we get Brooke. Of course, this was Open Fight Night too, and Gut Check Night. So being that this is Open Fight Night, we have call-outs. So Knockout Champ Brooke Tessmacher comes to the ring. She thanks Brooke Hogan for righting the wrong from Hardcore Justice last week when she made Taryn Terrell a rep, and she regained the Knockouts title from Madison. But she says now she's not in there. Tonight's not about the Knockouts title. This is personal. She says that she looks at herself in the mirror and asks all the time. She says she's always been wondering and asks if she can beat her mentor and best friend, that of course being Tara. So Tara comes out, and Taryn Tiffany Terrell is the referee. So I don't know. Is she going to be the referee for all the knockouts matches? I don't know. It's going to get kind of predictable. Anyway, so we get Brooke Tessmacher versus Tara in a non-title match. Tara wins. A solid match, and then they hug afterwards. And then they did some stuff on, I forget, it was like on the streaming during the show or on the post show or wherever, and she was Chris Michaels saying, "Oh yeah, she's not the best if she can't beat Tara or whatever." Hopefully they won't turn her heel because I think she's good as a babyface. So then they re-show Aces and Eights attacking the Pope backstage at Hardcore Justice, and they show an X-ray of the Pope's broken arm or whatever. And Tenay says that he's sidelined, it's a dislocated shoulder or whatever. He's sidelined with a dislocated shoulder, so he's out of the BFG series. So then we go to Sting in the office, in the GM office with Robbie E, Rob Van Dam, and AJ Styles. Oh, and Rob Terry's in there too. Sting mentions the Pope was supposed to have singles matches with all three guys, Robbie E, AJ, and RVD. But he said that since he's out, since the Pope was injured and out of the series, what the hell was it? He said that each was supposed to have a singles match with the Pope, but since Pope was injured, RVD, AJ Styles, and Robbie E will face each other in a three-way, and Rob Terry will not be at ringside. So then we get the triple threat match: Rob Van Dam, AJ Styles, Robbie E, BFG series match. I think it was a good match. There was some spots here and there, and there was one spot where I don't know who flipped over the ropes, but they one went for like AJ and Van Dam. One went for they moonsaulted off the top rope and we're going to reverse DDT. I mean, that kind of slipped. I mean, it's almost impossible not to do that. So, but it was good. Surprisingly, Robbie E got the win to get 7 more points, and I got a total of a whopping 12 points on the scoreboard. End came when Van Dam went for got the 5-star frog splash on AJ Styles, but that took a lot out of Van Dam too. So RVD and AJ were both laying on the mat. Robbie E covered Van Dam, got the pin. Not a bad. I thought it was a good match. Then we get Jeff Hardy coming to the ring, and I wish he ditched that face paint. It's so creepy. And he says that this match here, this match next will not be part of the Bound for Glory series, and he calls out Rob Terry. So we get Jeff Hardy and Rob Terry. Jeff gets the pin in a relatively short match. Thankfully that was short because we know Rob Terry can't do much. Then they go to Daniels and Kazarian backstage, and they're talking about, we'll find out what the paternity tests are, this and that, and it's like Daniels says that AJ thinks all the answers will be revealed tonight, but not all the questions have been asked or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. So then Sting is backstage, talking to the camera, telling the Aces and Eights guys that he's easy to find, and he'll deal them the dead man's hand. Then they show a video package recapping the whole AJ Claire stupidity. Speaking of stupidity, here we go with the most painful segment of the fucking night. JB's in the ring, and he says it's time to reveal the results of AJ Styles' paternity test. And JB's got a freaking something in his hand or whatever with the results or whatever. So then AJ Styles comes out, and then he says he's sorry to his friends. He's sorry to his fans who had to put up with this crap, and thanks AJ, and people who should really be sorry are the assholes who wrote this shit. And he's sorry for his family. And he's sorry for his family last. That didn't make any sense. So then he says, there's a night in his life that he can't remember, but obviously something happened with Claire, and AJ says that if he is the dad of Claire's unborn kid, he'll accept responsibility for it. But if he's not the dad, then he doesn't want Daniels or Kazarian to ever speak to him again. So then JB introduces Claire Lynch, but Daniels and Kazarian come out. Claire is not there, and I'll get into that a little later on as to why she wasn't. But Kazarian said that AJ was more concerned with protecting the AJ Styles brand than he is with his own family, and Kazarian just rambles on about some shit that it's not about worth recapping. He says it's because of AJ that there's a lot of bastard children and the prisons are filled up. I don't know what the fuck he said. It was just too much pain. It was too painful to even hear, let alone recap. So then he says that AJ has only been concerned about the phenomenal one, but starting now, AJ needs to be concerned with the little one. Then Daniel says that Claire came out, she was vulnerable, and asked AJ to do the right thing, and AJ turned his back on her. And Daniel says that Claire isn't there because she's in a local Florida hospital with whatever. And then Daniel says that it's like he and his friends wish her the speediest recovery. He says it in a very sarcastic heel way. And Daniel asks AJ if this was worth the aggravation. He put Claire through. Then some random woman comes to the ring. She's Claire's lawyer, and she's been authorized to read some kind of statement that Claire wrote out. And where did you hear? Oh man, so we get more of this shit fest right here. The attorney reads Claire's statement, and it says, she reads that in January of this year, Claire was actually approached by Daniels and Kazarian to blackmail AJ Styles. That's right. They set the whole fucking thing up, and there was a blackmail. And she says that Claire has taken part in some illegal activity before, and bullshit like that. And she said that Claire put some kind of a sedative or slipped AJ and Mickey into his drink to knock him unconscious. This whole thing doesn't make any sense, because it's like, why the hell would AJ Styles even be in a room, like a married guy with AJ Styles be in a room with this skank or whatever the fuck she is, and it's like, be in this position in the first place. So then the lawyer reads then she reads that Claire was never pregnant. That's right. This was all part of a plan to fuck up AJ Styles' life. And now Claire regrets that she did this and hopes that AJ and his family can forgive her for all the harm she caused them. And that AJ was always the man everyone's known him to be, or whatever. And then AJ goes after Kazarian and Daniels, and they bail. So the whole fucking thing was a setup just to blackmail AJ. It was painful. It was terrible. Most of this shit isn't worth recapping. Absolute painful. I'm hoping that this is the end of this crap. Now, why Claire Lynch wasn't there was because she left the company. Because I don't know how the hell this happened, but I heard on PW Insider last night. Check that site out. Some fans found out the actress playing Claire. They found out her real name, and they were sending her all sorts of hate mail and cruel messages or whatever through her Facebook and her Twitter or whatever, saying that she was a crack whore and a skank and shit like that, and it made her quit the company. So that was what happened. So Claire's no more Claire. Actually, can't go for that. So I'm just hoping to God that the storyline is over now. But then on the post show, Kazarian and Daniels were saying that, that lawyer woman is a liar. So I don't know. I mean, obviously it's the end of Claire and all that stuff. But AJ, Daniels, and Kazarian are such talented guys. They deserve a way better storyline than this bullshit that they were stuck in. So hopefully that's the end of it. That's the end of this. And I'm not even going to get into recap how it started, because we all know what happened there. So then they show a video package on this week's gut check contestant. His name is Chris Louie. He says that wrestling was the first thing in his life that he was proud to do, and he says that when Al Snow first gave him, he says that when Al Snow gave him called him and gave him the chance to be in TNA, he was blessed by that, and he says that this is a fight, and he's gonna get the TNA contract. So then we go to Aces and Eights. Backstage, Sting shows up. He's got a deck of cards and says, "Hey, you guys like to play games? How about we play 52 pickup?" And he drops the card down, and then Sting gets a bat out, and he hands it to Hulk Hogan, and Sting and Hogan just beat the hell out of the Aces and Eights guys. And then Hogan goes into crazy man mode here. He's like, "If you ever look at my daughter again, I'll cut your heart out and feed it to my dog." And then he growled and then Sting was like, "Oh, you're back! Welcome back! How are you? It's showtime! Woo!" Weird. Hogan growling was kind of funny, but it was like the whole thing was weird. It was like, "Your brother," and then oh my god, that was so weird. It was weird and it was a little bit funny. I don't know if it was supposed to be, but that's what wound up happening. Brother. So then they show a video package on Alex Silva. He mentions that when he first got the chance to be in TNA, it didn't feel real right away to him. And he says that he won't stop till he achieves his goal. This was actually a good promo from him there. I think they should have some other gut check one or two. I forgot his name and it wasn't even mentioned. So, but the Alex Silva recap was good here. So then we get JB in the ring, and it's time for Chris Louie's match. The gut check guy. Out comes Gunner. Gunner beats him. A decent but short match. Every time they have a gut check guy in a match, they always have him lose. It's getting kind of predictable. So it's just like, okay, so next week we're going to have Bruce, Al, and Taz get all argue with each other. Joey Ryan's going to come in. Al Snow's going to get pissed off, and whatever. So as to whether or not they'll grant Chris Louis a TNA contract, I don't know. Then ODB is backstage, or in the parking lot, or wherever, in the garage on the phone, asking Eric Young where he's been. She said to get him some beer and fried chicken, and she talks about his fishing show or whatever. Not much of that. Then Ken Anderson comes to the ring and he says that tonight is his final BFG series match, and he said he saved the meanest and toughest guy for last, that of course being Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley. So we get Ken Anderson and Bully Ray in a Battle for Glory series match. Really good back and forth match here. There were a good number of false finishes here. But Ken Anderson eventually got the pin for 7 more points. But 7 more points, but he's out of the series now because he's not in the Final Four. He was just below the Final Four line. So and then even during the match, they showed they went to backstage and they showed some guys on the TNA roster laying out more of the Aces and Eights guys. I mean, Aces and Eights were really looking like, the TNA guys were ready for them here, and it's like they were just, Aces and Eights got their asses handed to them throughout most of the show, I thought. Then the head Aces and Eights guy comes on, and he says that in about 3.5 minutes they'll unleash hell and deal out the dead man's hand. Okay. So then, end segment of the show, actually ends where it started. Sting and company, the same guys from the beginning of the show, and possibly even more, I don't remember. They make their way to the ring. Sting says he's calling out Aces and Eights again. No more disappointments. The victims are ready. Calling out Aces and Eights. And the fans chant for Hogan. And Sting says that maybe they should do an Aces and Eights chant since they haven't shown up or whatever. So then Aces and Eights come out. And then the brawl starts. And the TNA guys just beat the hell out of Aces and Eights again. There was some brawling into the crowd. It was in the ring, around ringside. They showed Hulk Hogan and James Storm beating a couple of the Aces and Eights guys backstage. There was a hell of a lot going on right here. It was like too much to recap. Back in the ring, you had Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy, and Rob Van Dam beating down some of the Aces and Eights guys. Jeff Hardy eventually got taken out. Then one of the, I think the big dude clotheslined Austin Aries. Then Aces and Eights bring in a guardrail, place it on the turnbuckle. They put Austin Aries in the corner. They put the guardrail over him, and they get a steel chair too. And then they hold Aries' arm up against the guardrail, and they hit it with a chair. So now supposedly he's got a broken arm or whatever. Now it's like Aces and Eights got their asses kicked the whole way through, but in the end they laid out the champ. They injured the champ. And then Bully Ray came out and with his chain and ran the Aces and Eights guys off. And then they all ride out of the building on their Harleys to end the show. I thought that this was a really entertaining brawl. I thought they did a good job here. And that was your show. So, like I said, overall, I thought it was a solid to good show. Like I said, good matches. Good and a good brawl there at the end with TNA versus Aces and Eights. As to who the leader is going to be, there was no Bobby Roode on the show this week. There was also no Samoa Joe and no Magnus either. But I still say, it's like if someone like Bobby Roode or Bully Ray are the guys behind the Aces and Eights. I still think that'd be cool if they did that. Like Richard Triumphant said, with Bobby Roode, if it's Bobby Roode, he can't get a title shot as long as Austin Aries is champion. So if he takes Aries out, then Aries can't defend the belt, so he'll get another title shot if he's the leader of this group. So that'll pretty much do it. Like I say, the whole thing with Hogan growling backstage was unintentionally. I don't know if it was unintentionally or what, but it was just like Hulk Hogan was really, that was hilarious. It was unintentionally hilarious, I thought. It was weird and kind of funny at the same time. Like I said, the 2 Battle for Glory Series matches were good. The Knockouts match was solid. And it looks like the AJ stuff with the whole "Who's Your Dad" bit. Looks like that's the end since Claire actually legit left TNA. So I hope to God that's the end of that storyline. So that'll pretty much do it for me right now. I'll be back in a few minutes with my SmackDown recap. I did have a chance to watch it before. So until a few minutes, like I said, you can check out my in-depth recap of Impact at tonyviz.blogspot.com and subscribe to YouTube, my YouTube channel and everything. And that'll do it for me right now, and I'll be back with my SmackDown recap in a couple of minutes.